Yumeko Jabami is the main character of one of the most infamous manga and anime series, Kakegurui. It recently got a live-action remake, and many people have complained to why Netflix decided to portray the anime this way. It's like the series we all know and love is faded into the distance. And then comes the question. Why did Netflix change Kakegurui? Let me shortly introduce, 6 minutes, the main characters so you get a better understanding of the situation. If you already are familiar with the two main characters, you can skip to this timestamp. First I will go over the anime. Yumeko Jabami comes from the Jabami family, which I'm sure you would not have figured out on your own. They are connected to the Momobami clan, that specializes in the gambling business. All members of this clan's surnames ends with the suffix Bami, which means devouring or devourer in Japanese. The top leaders of that clan, Kirira Momobami and their right-hand identical twin sister, Ririka Momobami, are also the leaders of the school board. Yumeko's parents died shortly after her birth. It's believed that they got murdered by unknown people, but the real reason is not confirmed. So Yumeko and her older sister, that later became a mental patient at the hospital for unknown reasons, but most likely gambling related, got raised by their maternal aunt, Yumeko Jabami. Maternal aunt means her mom's sister, just an aunt can be from either parent's side. Yumeko is introduced as a second-year transfer student at Hayakawa Private Academy who loves gambling for its own sake. It's a school for the most ruthless of the elites, where the social hierarchy is based entirely on gambling. The unlucky ones that fall into debt becomes house pets, like slaves that need to do whatever their owner says. Wealthy and influential families send their children there for them to learn what it takes to run the world. CEOs, presidents, dictators, crime lords, and people of that influence get created there. They have something called a school board, which are the people that have control over the entire school. The board is handpicked by the school president, Kirari Momobami, for various reasons not all related to money. Yumeko is literally born to gamble, as set by the Jabami curse. Once in a while, the Jabami bloodline produces a deviant child, always a beautiful, clever girl, driven by gambling addiction and craving danger. Yumeko's mother fit this pattern perfectly and died because of it. The implication is that Yumeko herself has inherited this curse. But the story treats it less like magic and more like genetics. She is driven by the pure thrill of gambling itself, not money, not power. All she cares about is the risk. Being able to lose absolutely everything she has ever known in one single moment excites her. We have seen her almost orgasm from gambling multiple times, even when losing. She stays true to herself and never cheats despite everybody else doing that. She is extremely intelligent, so she uses the knowledge of her opponent's cheating to get the game back to its original state of pure chance. All she cares about is the gamble.
Yumeko, do you enjoy your life here at the academy?
I do, very much, where everything is determined by gambling. Heaven if you win, hell if you lose. Everyone living in fear of a fall from grace. There's nowhere else like this in the entire world. Yakao Academy is more than a home for me. It's my paradise.
I'm so glad you found a home here.
Now to Yumeko Kawasaki. Oh wait, my bad. Now to Yumeko Kawamoto from the live-action series of Kakegurui Bet. She also comes from the Jabami family, but changed her surname to Kawamoto from her foster mother, Mrs. Kawamoto, to be able to secretly infiltrate St. Dominic's Prep as a transfer student from Japan that got expelled from her previous school for gambling. It's basically like Hayakawa Private Academy, where the social hierarchy is based entirely on gambling. But the difference is, the student council is not picked by the president, Kira Tumurao. Instead, the 10 people with the highest winnings get to be on student council. And at the end of the year, they get to go out on a trip where they meet a lot of wealthy and influential people. The school board is made up of parents who want their kids to tear each other to pieces. Kira's father, Arkady Tumarov, is the head of the board. But that doesn't really matter, because all the changes regarding the school is made by Kira. Yumeko Kawamoto is also driven by gambling, but she has a goal this time: to revenge her parents' death. She said at an early age that that was her life goal. They got blown up entering a car by a friend of theirs known through the Kakegurui club, a secret society that grew up to become extremely influential and also everybody on the school board. It's said by the members of the club that Yumeko's parents was a fraud and scammed everyone involved. It had something to do with them inventing Bitcoin, probably because that takes away power from the rich and gives more control to the poor, and that was probably why they got murdered as well. But that's just what I think, we don't know for sure. Now, sorry for the long introduction, there's a lot of Yumeko, but the big and obvious differences have sparked quite the conflict among fans, because they did change a lot of things that was known to be a part of Kakegurui and Yumeko Jabami. The storyline, her motive, the school hierarchy, the gambling stakes, the insane expressions, those humongous calcium cannons the size of tectonic plates, the black box that's Yumeko, and much, much more. One thing I think they did really bad is that there's quite frankly a lot of things that don't really add up between the series and within themselves.
What?
For example, how Kawamoto has a goal with gambling, to revenge her parents' death. Then it's not purely driven by the thrill of gambling itself, but for something much bigger. They are trying to balance out the pure gambling-driven side of Jabami with the revenge-driven side of Kawamoto. Jabami did not have a motive for gambling except that she was addicted, and Netflix tried to display that side of Jabami in Bet, but that's impossible to do with another motive. Also, the anime often has vast physical oversexualized interactions, especially when gambling. Let me just show you again here. Just this comes from the season 1 intro. And yes, you get to see that every time you start an episode. And by the way, you're about to see the outro, and I'm not editing this. I swear it's like a jump scare, bro.
My hand was a pig the whole time, you fool!
I have genuinely gotten scared by that. I'm not even kidding. But anyway, it's an anime. That's just what they do. It wouldn't even be an anime without it. But it would most definitely be weird to have those kind of scenes and shots in Bet. Even though they did keep a bit of the sexual vibe or aura to Yumeko in their live action, it's definitely not the same as in the anime. But that's very understandable. Sorry to all the Miku Martino fans. Also, another thing that doesn't really make sense is the highest bet amount I saw in Bet was $100,000 on one hand. No pun intended. While in Kakegurui, Yumeko bet 3 million and her friend's life that was worth approximately 68 million for a total bet amount on one single hand of $71 million. The difference in wealth between the two series are absolutely insane. So now, why did Netflix change Kakegurui to what we all know now as Bet? Well, they changed it because they wanted this legendary manga and anime to appeal to more people. They wanted it to be less niche, more mainstream, easier to bench. But the problem in doing that is that it also removes the soul, what made it so unique, and just made it into another Western adaptation that looks more like Riverdale than Kakegurui. Though the biggest question is, why is Yumeko the only Asian in the entire series based on an Asian manga? They really just cast one Asian actor and call it a day.
You're right.
I believe the only reason they can possibly have for this is that they did not find more Asian actors because the series is produced in Canada. But only one Asian is a bit lazy. But anyway, I did love the series, and Miku Martino did a really great job portraying Yumeko. But I guess the only thing not accurate with Yumeko was the size of her chest-mounted airbags.
Hell no, man. What the fuck, man? Get your ass on.
But absolutely nothing wrong with that. Don't confuse me here. But yeah, it was mostly everything else that made it not Kakegurui. But if you see Bet before the anime, it's still a good series, except the confusion on motive. Please comment below if you prefer Yumeko in the anime or manga, or in Bet. And also, please tell me if you think I got anything wrong with the facts. This is my first ever long form video, so any other feedback would be greatly appreciated. If the audio is too loud, if I have too many memes,
in the beginning,
just anything really. And, most importantly, I hope you had a good time watching this video or got anything out of it. Thank you for watching, and have a good rest of your day.